We have been traveling the rich fertile lands of Kenya, far and wide, across the highlands and lowlands of this beautiful country, talking to farmers wherever we go.
We want to give them the help and knowledge they need to improve their farming methods,
increase their income, and turn around their farms into good business for the future.
Join us and our experts on this journey and share their families' experiences as they make the changes.
Karibu to Shamba Shape Up Safari.
Being a farmer these days can really be hard work.
And sometimes there's so many problems you don't know which way to go.
So if you're feeling like that and you want expert advice,
welcome to Shamba Shape Up.
Nestling in the shadows of Gong Hills outside Nairobi are a number of small shambas. Many of the farmers here are in need of some good farming advice.
And that's where we come in. Meet George, Lucy, Boniface, Samuel, Lydia, and Mary, and little niece Wamboi. They've lived on the Shamba for 16 years and would love some expert advice on all their problems.
So now, George, what problems do you go through in your farm?
The main problem is on maize storage. I would wish to increase my yield.
What about your cattle?
Due to high cost of inputs, I'm not able to feed them properly.
So they must be very skinny.
Well, somehow, I wouldn't say very, but somehow.
What else do you grow?
Well, I also grow potatoes. It's also a problem because when there are no lanes and I have no method of irrigating, so I go without the potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And whose chickens are those? I can hear chickens.
Those are my chicken, and I take them and I keep them to Mama's kitchen.
Lucy, what he's saying is true. He takes his chicken in your kitchen.
What
about you?
I wish to have an electricity because we are depending on paraffin and our time is very limited.
Like yesterday, we were solving problems in mathematics and our alarm go off and we go to bed. We didn't finish our studies.
How about Mary?
Okay, for me, my problem is in the kitchen. When I wash my utensils, I don't have that place to dry them after washing.
Wow.
Okay, good. I think we've listened to all those problems and we'll see what we can do about them.
We have experts who deal with the problems you have, especially in the farm. So I think we start right now, okay?
Yeah. Let's go do it.
Wow, that's quite a list. There is maize problems, cow problems, chicken meat looking at, there's a lack of light, a kitchen used as a hen house, and even problems with their potatoes.
Better roll up our sleeves and get started.
We don't pretend to know everything about farming, but we certainly do know experts who do.
And they're only across from here to help George with all his problems.
And with our team at the ready to give a helping hand,
we are determined to leave this Shamba in a better state than we found it in.
The heart of a Shamba lies in the soil. Poor soil, poor crops. Simple. But there are always ways to improve the situation, as our soil and fertilizer expert Philip Karuri from IFDC well knows. Philip has brought with him the results of a soil test carried out earlier on George's soil.
How many bags of maize do you get from your farm?
Oh,
from 1 acre?
10 bags per acre.
10 bags?
Yeah.
By using the fertilizer, such as the one we have left you with, you can get about double that amount, 20 bags and more. The results of your soils we are not very encouraging. It's indicating that you have low phosphorus, potassium, which is also very high, which is not bad, calcium, which is also optimum, that is good. A lot of other things like magnesium, sodium are also very good.
Okay. What about manure? Don't manure have these elements that are lacking in the soil?
Manure is very important for your soils. But we don't know how much of the nutrients are in that manure. So you cannot depend on that manure if you want to return to give the soil the nutrients it needs.
Okay. What should I do
to correct this? We recommend some fertilizers. As you can see from the bag, we have come with here is to show you is written 18-46-0. What that means, it has 18% of nitrogen, 46% of phosphate, and 0 potassium. Okay, George, I'll leave you with that bag of fertilizer and wish you well.
So, if you think your soil needs extra boost, it's well worth having it tested. Testing costs only a few shillings in the government laboratories and a bit more in private laboratories. Testing will enable you to apply the right type of fertilizer and the right amount. Soil testing should be done at least every 5 years.
So, George usually harvests 10 bags of maize per acre. By using the right fertilizer, he can double his yield to 20 bags per acre. 1 bag of fertilizer costs the same as 1 bag of maize. He used 4 bags of fertilizer, so he can harvest 16 bags of maize. George was telling us he was particularly anxious about his maize crop. So having tested his soil and advised on fertilizer, we invited Dr. Jane Ininda, Crop Improvement Officer from Agra, to show him some new development in maize growing.
George,
No.
what seed do you use to plant on your farm?
I use 6 LS, that is 628, 614, 626, those varieties.
Well, that is good, but as you know, the weather has changed drastically in the last several years, and there has been a lot of frequent droughts coming, and you can see that we have this maize variety. It is good because it will mature in a shorter time, so that even if your rains fail, like because of drought or because of any other weather change, you'll be assured of a crop.
Okay, great.
I saw a lot of yellow leaves on the maize plants. That is called maize streak disease.
Maize streak.
It will drastically reduce your yields. But when you plant this variety, first it is early. Secondly, it will resist the disease. So you get a better crop and a higher yield. Maize is not always planted alone. So I also brought beans. These beans are very good also because beans make what we call nitrogen, which is like fertilizer, which fertilizes the maize as it grows. So you plant your maize, you plant your beans in between, and both crops will grow up very healthy.
What is the difference between this seed and what he was using before?
The one that he is using takes 6 to 7 months to mature. Like Lucy needs food, she cannot get the food early. She will have to wait for 7 months, but now she can get the food in 5 months. It's almost 99% germination. That's why when you buy this seed which is certified, you know it will germinate. So you just need to plant one. Do you have mobile phones, Lucy and George?
Yes, I do.
We want to send a message to Kefis, asking them which variety you want to plant on your farm. Send a message to 5354. Type maize, put hash, and your name of the division is Deya. So put Deya and say send. And the message you get is the advice on the seed you need to use on your farm.
George and Lucy, you have an expert at the end of your mobile phone.
Yeah.
Phone it 10 bob.
Let's see what Jane recommends.
The first thing that you need to do when you are planting your seed is to make sure that the land is well prepared.
How do you do that?
You have to dig it, remove all the weeds, and level it.
Mark out the first row for maize. Using a piece of string or a stick 30 centimeters long, mark the distance between each maize plant.
Add the recommended amount of fertilizer to each hole and then add a little soil, placing only 1 seed per hole.
Then mark out subsequent rows 90 centimeters apart. Between the maize rows, plant 2 rows of beans 30 centimeters apart. Beans should be planted 10 centimeters apart in the furrow.
So next time, George, you get more yield. Then your kids grow more healthy and beautiful. More beautiful than they are now. Good, right.
A text to Kefis might only cost 10 shillings. But what are the other costs when planting in this way? You will need to buy bean and maize seeds, but do look out for the Kefis stamp of good quality. Then there's the fertilizers. Buy a variety recommended for the condition of your soil.
But this cost should increase your yield by at least half again. not a bad investment for a good outcome.